You're listening to Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Sponsored by Treebor Soft Mints.
Absolute Radio.
You see, I like the idea of Great Britain, and to some extent the world, on a Saturday morning, listening to 15 seconds of feedback. It doesn't happen enough on commercial radio, that kind of thing. You know, it's all la, 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 la. Let's hear some... Yeah.
It's a different sort of guitar solo, isn't it?
Yeah.
The one you normally get.
Well, it's better than the one that was in the previous track, I would say, but far be it for me to comment on that. I am Frank Skinner. It's all going to be. I am Robot. I am Robot, and you can. And I'm with Gareth and Emily this morning.
Hello.
Happy New Year, Frank.
Oh, thanks.
Someone fall over then.
Yeah, what's the point? Someone fainted that it was the latest ever Happy New Year on the 8th of January. If you want to text us about anything at all, I mean anything. I mean, for example, if you want to text us about the Franco-Prussian War and its implications, you can text us on 81215. If you want to text us about biorhythms, it's fine. Our guest today is Milton Jones. He won't be texting us, he'll be live here. He's very funny. I saw him in Brighton once. He bought the house down.
Has he got sticky up hair? Is he that one?
He's got sticky up hair sometimes. We all have. I had sticky up hair when I got up this morning. Well, anyway. So, we've all had the new year. We've had 2 weeks off from the radio show. The best-ofs, of course, were out, filling our... Did you listen to the best-ofs, Gareth?
No.
I listened to a bit.
Was it?
What did you think?
I laughed.
Did you?
I know I shouldn't have.
Can we admit that?
Well, I don't hear the show because I'm here when it's happening. I really laughed at it. I thought it was the funniest thing I've ever heard on radio. I honestly thought that.
Wow.
Yeah. It was great news for us all. And I'm starting to think maybe we should record the show and edit it. It'd be a lot better.
Do you think?
Because, I mean, there's a lot of rubbish in the live... I mean, just take this. It's just meandering chit-chat.
We do it.
But in the best of, it was bang, bang, gone, man. It was a feast, a cavalcade of humour.
So we should do it every Saturday, but then just edit it down for Christmas and New Year's Day.
No, we could do that, yeah. Just take a contract. It's 2 long best-of shows. I'm happy with that. Anyway, I'm afraid you've got us live, so you stuck with it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, though, I'm in the mood today.
That sounds a bit ominous.
I think it was Glenn Miller who said... I don't think that is in the mood, isn't it? What's in the mood? Yeah. I think Peter Sellers had that playing at his funeral.
Did he?
What about that? If you want
I
to...
wasn't invited.
Well, anyone who was at Peter Sellers' funeral, you can text us on 81215. and you know, just to give us a little bit of minutiae of the day, just so we can get the feel of what it was like being there.
That's the atmosphere we want to create in the show today.
I think celebrity funeral anecdotes is always... Yeah. I could listen to them till the cows come home.
Oh, good, I've got plenty of them.
I bet you have, yeah. Aren't you the sort of woman who turns up and stands at the back and the wife looks nervously over her shoulder?
Crying far too much.
Yeah, deliberately gone for that Jackie O look.
Yeah.
No, I'll tell you why I'm in the mood. I've been searching. And when I mean in a spiritual way. In that, for many years I've been wearing a pair of brown slip-on shoes made by a company called Journey, right?
I know those shoes.
Yes. Well, those shoes I wear so much that Adrian Childs is a dear friend of mine, not just a celebrity, don't think that. He took a photo of them, and then as a birthday gift, he gave them in a beautiful silver embossed frame, just a picture of my shoes. Anyway, they finally... They caved.
They gave up,
after
didn't they?
10 years. They couldn't go on anymore. And I've been on a quest to find... I've been on a journey, you could say. And the company no longer make those shoes, so I'm not one of those celebrities who's on the radio trying to get free things by dropping hints. Don't think that for a second. So, you know, Journey and stick your free shoes as far as I'm caring. But I went out and I got my own. That's the kind of guy I am. I've got the money, and it was the sales. I bought 3 pairs of brown shoes over Christmas, trying to...
all brown?
All brown.
Just brown?
Well, these were brown suede slip-ons, and I thought, I'm going to go brown slip-on. 2 brown slip-ons, and then I saw these ones. And can I name the brand name?
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
do it.
Why not?
Clarks.
Oh, OK. I wish you hadn't, but anyway, carry on.
No, Clarks are quite cool nowadays.
Are they?
Oh, yeah, do tell me, Gareth, about that.
Look, I'm not turning this into an infomercial. But Anyway, I went in and there was a sticker on them, which I must admit drew me in. It said extra wide. I could sense years of comfort stretching out ahead.
Funnily enough, Frank, that puts me off clothing when I see that on it.
Oh, okay. I thought of 30 things I could say then, none of which... 29 of which would end with you walking out of the room, so I'm not going to say. No, I like a wide shoe. I got these shoes. They were so wide. I was able to walk. I was in Cheltenham for Christmas. I was able to walk over quite deep snowdrifts without sinking at all.
Oh.
Perfect. And I find with me, my attitude with a shoe, you know, women go on about shoes a lot.
Yeah.
Women always talk about shoes.
Stereotype us, why don't you?
No, but you would talk about shoes, But I think your relationship with shoes is like an infatuation. It's like a new relationship when you just met someone, you're very excited. Everything they say, you go, ooh. With me, shoes like an old partner I've been with for many years. A comfortable travelling companion who I can depend on. I think I might have hit upon that with these brown extra wides.
This is Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
They are lace-ups, but I've got them. I've worked out the exact tension of the lace so that they operate now as a slip-on.
Oh.
I never undo them. Do you know when you get it?
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry,
that was Manic Street Preachers with "You Stole the Sun" from. Did you steal the sun?
From that builder? No.
Yeah, exactly. Just put it down for a minute. He was just about to go on to Richard Littlejohn's thoughts on the week. Turn around, it had gone. Is Richard Littlejohn still in? Is he still alive, Richard Littlejohn?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll Google it.
Nice bloke. Big, broad face. Little John. That's what he's like.
Anyway, your shoes. I love the subject of your shoes.
Well, don't you find that there are some clothes... I mean, some people will look at these shoes and think, my girlfriend said they were a bit supply teacher.
Did she? Well, it's funny, actually. I've seen those very same shoes.
You might think it's funny. I find it slightly offensive.
Oh, I wouldn't say supply teacher. You know what I'd say?
What?
Sort of philosophy professor at
I'm
one of
happy.
the better Oxford colleges.
I'm happy with that. I think I've got a brown tweed. There's an element of American academic about me
I would
at the
agree
moment.
with that.
Yeah, which opening scenes of the Da Vinci Code.
Yes.
When he's doing a bit of a lecture. That's how I'm seeing myself. Well, I mean, to some extent, I am a spreader of educational thoughts on this show. That's what I think.
Little bow tie, maybe, I see. With
I'm
you.
wondering, if I can take on a bow tie. I had that thought only yesterday.
Yeah.
I think let's go for it.
It's a tricky one.
Yeah. I thought one of those that very, very slightly revolved. Not span, but went round like the London Eye when you hardly know it's moving. You have to really concentrate on a pod for, say, 2 or 3 minutes. Just that. So someone's talking to you and they think, that's gone round, 3 or 4 degrees since we...
Yeah.
I'm going to try. I've never really, apart from in a black suit situation, I've worn a dicky bow, so I'd like to take that off.
Frank, we have just had a text in from Peter Parker.
What? Is there a little bit of web on it?
Has he picked a peck of pickled peppers?
Spider-Man. No, he says, I don't think women understand men and shoes. I like brown shoes. I don't think people should wear black shoes with jeans.
No, I don't.
Voice of controversy there.
I remember there used to be an Anna Friel advert on the telly when she sat looking at some shoes and she used to say, brown shoes with jeans, and I thought, you're so right, Anna. You are so right.
Oh,
I've always thought
calm
you were...
down, dear.
I've always thought you were stupid. I've never met her, but she gives the appearance of someone who's very stupid. But then I thought, no, Anna, she's got judgment. Yeah. That doesn't allow for a burying someone under the patio. I'm not saying that's right. If anyone's thinking that's okay, it isn't. But do you know when you get emotionally attached to clothing?
Good friends, I call them.
Yeah, stuff. Not that you think, I look great in this. It just you feel it makes you happy. Everyone's got, I think, something. It might be an old jacket or.
I was very attached to my last pair of trainers. I'd come out of a bad relationship with my previous pair of trainers.
Oh yeah, what happened?
I got them on the internet. Which is sometimes a difficult way to start a relationship.
It's a risk. I remember buying. I bought a denim
It's
suit.
like mail order bride, Frank.
I bought a denim suit from a catalogue club once. And
What? A denim suit?
Yeah. When I arrived, it was an actual denim. It's what we used to call Tesco Levi's. It was very thin, sort of almost a brush denim, but not quite, but thin linen type of. Oh. And in the picture, it looked like the Marlborough Man.
Well, and in the shoe shop, you would always try them on, and I really liked them, the picture, but they only had size 7, and I thought, because it was the internet, I thought, oh, they'll be all right. They were agony. And
Yeah.
I wore
What
them
size
for
do you
6
take?
months, 8.
Yeah.
That should have been a clue.
There's an element in you should have seen that coming.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
But then these new ones, they were Adidas ZX 600s.
Are you trying to get a free pair now?
No, I'm
Why are
just
you
saying
reading
that's.
them
I'm
all
just
out?
describing
Can I
them.
just say, in case there's anyone
They
from
don't do
Adidas
them
listening, you
anymore.
can stick your trainers. Go and send them. If you send them in, I'll put them straight in the bin.
Stick them in the post for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, very
But
sad. But then they wear out, don't they? To paraphrase.
They're like people.
Yeah.
They're like people. You get more and more attached, and then they get a bit smelly and start to go around the edges, and then they're
Oh
gone.
dear.
You have to bin them. That's what happens. Anyway, if you've got any clothes you're emotionally attached to, why don't you tell us about them? Hey, it's a radio show. We do that kind of thing. You can text us on 8 12 15.
This is Frank Skinner
Absolute.
Radio.
Crossfire, Brandon Flowers. Brandon Flowers, that is the title of Russell Brand's next documentary for BBC 4, in which he talks about the flora and fauna of Great Britain. I look forward to it.
Never mind that. We've had quite an urgent text in, Frank.
Urgent. All right.
Yeah. Well, it says Bex has text, said she can't make it on a day you're free and vice versa. We'll have to do it in Jan sometime. So
Who? Beck.
Bex, yeah, BEX, that Bex.
Well, I don't know anyone who...
Doesn't mean anything to anyone.
no.
So
I don't know anyone common enough to adopt that kind of abbreviation.
Frank, you do. You know me.
Yes,
it's the
you
kind of
do.
thing I do.
David Beckham wouldn't text me. Well, I don't know who that
Maybe
is.
it's about him.
Do you
Yeah,
think- do you think they've sent the wrong...
I think they might have.
Oh, no. Well, that means that some friend of Beck's who should have got this... she can't see you when you arrange. You have
Yeah.
to do it some later time in Jan.
I have to do it in Jan
Well,
sometime.
it is Jan, isn't it?
Well, what
What's
are they
talking about?
doing in Jan anyway? It all sounds a bit sleazy. We'll have to do it in Jan.
Well, I mean, it could just be coffee. There's nothing sleazy about it. Just because she's called Beck, so don't assume that there has to be a trip to Primark factored in.
You had one of those this holiday.
You know, don't.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that.
I'm still recovering. Yes. Well, have we heard anything from the outside world apart from people who've accidentally texted us?
We have. We had one in, didn't we, Gareth, about a rabbit.
Yes, it says it's disappeared. Here we are.
It's disappeared.
It's
That'd be
disappeared.
some sort of magic trick. Was it on The Magicians last Saturday night? Oh, we must talk about The Magicians. Struth. That was my review.
Hi, Frank, Emily, and Gareth. In an earlier podcast, you were talking about what noise a rabbit makes. When me and my brother were younger, we seemed to think they made the noise nimmy. I know where this came. I don't know where this came from. Love the show. Abby
Okay.
from Lincoln, 14. So he
Abby Lincoln.
nimmy.
Lincoln Abbey, I've been there.
Nimmy.
Oh, fine. She's a lovely girl, but very gothic. Yeah, Nimmy, when they do that thing with their nose, you can imagine it going Nimmy, Nimmy.
Nimmy.
I find they go pfft, but that's only if you drive over them.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I'd like that. Yeah, we had this debate a long time. This is someone who's been trawling the old podcasts. Whether rabbits make a noise. I've never heard a rabbit make any noise at all.
No, thumping with their feet.
Hence the nickname, Thumper, probably.
Oh,
I
yeah.
hadn't thought about that. I thought he had a heart problem. That was always my assumption. What else?
Well, we've had another email in from Robert Delsini.
I'm
I like
liking the sound of him.
So
is he in
do
The
I.
Sopranos?
Oh, I hope so,
Is it
Frank.
mildly threatening?
Yes.
Is there an air of menace in this email?
Well, it's a curious email. Hi, Frank, Emily and Gareth. I'm on the train going to work in Melbourne, Australia. And
marvellous.
someone has gone on the train with 2 watering cans and a bag of loofahs. What do you think he's doing?
I think he's probably mopping up the tears of the Australian cricket fans.
Oh,
Oh! Well, what would he be doing? 2 watering cans and
I
a
know.
bag of... You know.
I
What
think
is it?
it's an impromptu shower device.
Yes.
He might not have time. Quickly, when he goes to work, he could have a quick rub down.
So he's going to go and say, I didn't have time for a shower this morning because somebody held this watering can above my head. And then he's going to loofah himself. Well, that
He might
seems
do.
highly, highly unlikely. Yeah, is that it, or are we...
We have got another one. We got one in from the Philly Girls.
Oh, the Philly Girls.
Yeah.
Well, before we do the Philly
Okay.
Girls, are people listen to the show in Philadelphia, in America.
Yeah.
They don't listen to the show in Philadelphia. I mean, like an enormous tub of cottage cheese would be disgusting.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind, you know. But anyway, as a tribute to them, what about this? Today's Elvis's birthday.
Is it?
Elvis's birthday. Feel free to dance to this.
This is Frank Skinner
Absolute.
Radio.
You're out of breath, aren't you?
Oh, man, I dance like there was no tomorrow.
You danced a
And at
little
my
bit.
age, if you dance like that, there might be no tomorrow.
You had your headphones on. It looked a bit Jeffrey Rush and Shine.
Oh,
when
did
you,
it?
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I always like to think I dance a bit like Jeffrey Rush and Shine. I think he plays a man who's mentally ill, does he not? Oh, that was Elvis Presley, Viva Las Vegas. It's his birthday today. He would have been 1935.
Oh,
1935. What's that, 81 he'd have been?
something like that.
Imagine that. Bald, completely bald. Unless he had the Ramsanian hair transplant.
Well, you don't want to go down that road.
No, I don't. You see, I like the idea of a chef getting his hair firmly fixed because you don't want it you don't want to find it in
that's
the
true.
gravy.
Yeah, but why has the hair transplant affected his eyes? Have you seen what's happened to his
No,
eyes?
his eyes were always like that. He always looks like a man walking into a blizzard. Which, you know, with his stormy personal life, I could hardly be surprised.
He's a bit brown shoes and jeans as well.
Is he?
Yeah, he's a bit brown. Caramat
no,
shoes
he's
and jeans.
very clean white trainers and jeans, is what I would
Oh, yes,
say.
you're right, Frank.
Yeah, not brown
Frank,
shoes.
we've had a text in again from Peter Parker.
Really?
Yeah.
He's on tonight.
He says, you were talking about magicians before we went to that, and he
Yes.
says magicians can't be anywhere near as bad as Famous and Fearless.
Well, look, I don't like to criticise other people's shows. For goodness sake, this isn't perfect. And I've put out some awful television in my time, so, you know. But I must say, I was asked to do both of those shows. I was asked to do Famous and
Were
Fearless.
you?
Yeah. And I was asked to do Magicians. And I watched... I think Famous and Fearless is, you know, I think that's fine. It's but I was watching Magicians, and you know when you hear these people interviewed who say, I was supposed to be at the World Trade Centre that morning, but I overslept. And you think, you lucky. That's what I was thinking when I was watching this program. That could have been me on there. My girlfriend said to me, if you'd have done this, I would have split up with you.
Well, respect
That's what
to her
I call
for that.
that's what I call a review. Yeah. So,
I would have quite liked to have seen you on one of those little mini scooters.
What? Oh, you want about Famous and Fearless?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I'm still on the Magicians.
I know.
I wanted to pull a rabbit out of a hat, but not a whole rabbit.
Oh.
Just the head. They wouldn't have it. No,
we've
it
had
was-
a text about rabbits. Pointless rabbit fact for you. They make a squealing sound when attacked and a small grunting sound when showing aggression.
Do they show aggression, rabbits?
That's from Charlotte.
I don't know.
Not often.
Famous and Fearless is... there's too much shouting for me.
Yeah.
I can't take that much shouting.
From one person in particular.
Well, everybody... I mean, I know it's in a big arena, but shouting... It's one long shout. That's my quoted review on the post. One long shout, Frank Skinner. No, and I'll tell you what, it seems to be that one of the big features, something that is perceived as very exciting,
Yeah.
is the audience counting something in. 7, 6... And I thought, yeah, I was bored. You lost me at 6. Can we stop now? Can we just fast forward? But no. 4, 3. I thought, no, I'm not at all excited. Please stop counting backwards. I mean, it's a main feature of the show, but I mean, I wouldn't have. Who fancy asking me as well? Someone who is only
I
just
can't
about
believe
famous
they
and
asked
certainly
you.
not fearless.
Was it good money?
John, was it good money? My manager's in the room.
Yeah.
No, he
He
can't
can't
remember.
remember.
Well, it wasn't good money then. 'Cause he'd remember.
No. Oh, he'd remember all right.
But like I say, it's difficult making good television. So I've heard.
You're quite a weird choice for Famous and Fearless, though, aren't you, as you say?
Yeah, well, I'm not. I don't think anyone would perceive of me as fearless.
Would you ever do one of those reality shows, though?
Can I just say, one of the stunts they did was driving through paper. I'd have been all right. I would have been all right with that. There was a sheet of paper stretched across an archway, and they had to drive through it.
Wow.
And this guy said, the thing is, you know, you can't see
This
what's
guy, that was Claire Balding. Oh, my God.
No, it wasn't Claire Balding.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
It wasn't Claire Balding.
Good.
I wish it had been. It was definitely a sheet of paper. It would have been great if you'd have to drive straight at Claire Baldwin. And the last minute she jumped out the way, and then there was just a gaping chasm behind her. Can I say I don't mean that that's...
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, so he said the thing is, you don't know, you can't, you're driving blind here. And I thought, well, you are driving because you can't see through paper, but it's only paper.
Well, that's it.
And Chris Evans said, well, I wouldn't do it. And I thought, well, why not? What? Just do it. And they did it, and it was very unspectacular. I mean, they did it 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Brilliant! God, that was great, everybody! What about that? What about a man driving through paper? Straight through it, and it tore. He wasn't worried about a paper cut or anything. I think there was a staple in there. He just ignored it. I mean, it just gives me a headache.
We only have this extra. This is Frank Skinner.
Absolute
Radio.
Frank, we've had some texts in.
Hurrah.
And emails. Well, firstly, I'd just like to clear up this whole issue with Bex and the meeting up.
Oh, yeah, someone sent us the text that I think they didn't mean to send, is that right?
Just basically saying, can we meet up in Jan sometime, Bex? It says, it's from Dan. He was the sender.
We don't know if it's a he.
Well, that's true.
Could be a Danielle.
He says, that was not supposed to find your inbox.
Yeah, well, I've heard that before. And I'm sure you have.
I was going to say. Very sorry. Haven't heard that much.
Well, don't, no.
So,
no, I've used it a few times.
He says, so Bex is a workmate and we wanted to arrange a date for swapping Christmas gifts due to a snow-stopping delay. Dan.
You know what I'm worried about this is that Dan is a bloke, Bex is a workmate. There's a bit of a frisson.
Oh, there's a frisson.
And the whole thing has been... I mean, this could be a sitcom plot. The whole thing has been exposed by accidentally sending the text to a radio. The wife is listening.
I was going to say,
why
what
are you
if Dan's
meeting her?
married?
Oh, we're just swapping some late Christmas from my eye. That's what's gone on there
My
this
eye.
morning. Yeah, that's what she's like, Dan. Have you not met Dan's wife? She has an old-fashioned turn of phrase. It's the thing I like about her, but I think with him it's started to drag, basically. I'll tell you something, though. Yeah, if you never did anything else in your life, just to have written that, brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else?
Yeah, Simon in Hyde said the interesting thing about the Franco-Prussian War was the impact on French cultural identity and the concept of the Union Sacrée.
Is that right? I'm not aware of the Union Sacrée. Will that be the Sacred Union? As I think,
Yeah.
I
think it's a phrase I heard Arthur Scargill use once.
It was a political truce in France in which the left wing agreed during World War I not to oppose the government nor to call any strike.
Okay. Sounded almost as if you were reading that out. That's how good and clear your diction. No, that's interesting. Well, thanks for that. We asked for any interesting points about the Franco-Prussian War. I must admit I wasn't completely serious, but I love it when people join in.
I love it.
Yeah.
And Amanda Taunton, another Australian. A lot of Australians listening at this time of day.
Yeah, but I love them at the moment.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm all over an Antipodean.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I'm with you, Frank. I
don't
hate...
know, it's the pouch that puts me off. I can't cope with the pouch. I find that when you're having slap and tickle, he does that, that you can hear the pouch. Ooh,
For the world's fattest man.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Frank. I hate squeezing my feet into narrow shoes. I like wide. Wide is good. Like there's a party going on in my shoes. Thank you, Amanda from Australia.
Yeah, I wouldn't say in my brown extra wide. It's not so much a party. It's that when you see a scene from an old people's home and there's a lot of people sitting with their mouths open in a circle around a television set. It's like that.
Wine and cheese party, maybe.
Well, maybe. I don't know what you're saying about my feet.
Oh, no, sorry.
Yeah, okay. Marvellous. If I play that 3 times, will it be a Jerry hat-trick? Shut up.
You're listening to Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio, the softest, mintiest show in town. Sponsored by Tree Bar Soft Mints.
Absolute Radio.
Is it me? Do you find that when you watch films and TV nowadays, you don't hear a lot of the stuff they say? Can you back me up on this?
No, I'm not backing you up. Why? And what? Explain.
Well, did you see Zen, the new cop
the
show?
Venetian detective.
Yeah, well, he's Venetian, but he's set in Rome.
Oh,
Yeah.
does he speak English then?
Yeah, he speaks English. It's all
Oh,
in
it's
English.
a cop-out.
It's not. It's a cop out. It was a cop out, and sometimes it was a cop in. But anyway, and the whole show for me, I'm going, what did he? It was kind of, if you can imagine. He's there. Taking him for the Winston, yeah. Hey, Steve, Steve, you better say it. Well, it was driving me out of my mind. I heard probably 70%, and it was quite a complex. They're like, I'm going to have to go for the subtitles. Has it come to that?
It's like being chatted up at a party.
Yeah, it is.
You
It was
can only hear
exactly
every
like
other
being
word.
chatted up at a party. Yes, I lost interest halfway through. Anyway, but on the American theme, what happened to the Philly girls?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the Philly girls.
We had emailing from them, didn't we, Gav?
Yes.
The Philly girls are. They used to listen to the show all the time, but I thought they'd separated. Have they reunited? Reunited, and it's on.
When you say separated, they weren't all in a relationship, were
No, they were
they?
at college together.
We
weren't
only
they?
imagined they were in a
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Well, the email says, "Hi Frank, Gareth, and our chic fairy godmother Emily.
Oh.
Merry Christmas from the Philly girls. We have all been listening to the podcast on our own and have been talking about pedestrian racing. So they've been listening to it by themselves. but
Oh, individually now. Mm.
Leslie decided to finally try it out and was left with quite a bruised ankle. She dared try and overtake an angry mother doing her Christmas shopping. Malls in America are dangerous. Also, is there a trick to doing it that you English are keeping a secret? Merry Christmas from your biggest fans in Philadelphia. Samantha,
Aw.
Leslie, Aria, Cassie and Alison."
Lovely.
Well, it's lovely to hear from them. It's something sad about them listeing individually.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, it reminds you of that terrible sinking feeling when Take That split up. Do you remember that? But as we can see, there's hope. There's hope. If 4 of you think this is our last chance, I'm sick of working in B&Q, and then one of you has a
Yeah.
breakdown, next thing you know, you're all back together again. It's lovely. It's lovely to hear from the girls. I think the secret with the pedestrian racing in America is to give a lot of the very, very fat people a wide berth.
Yeah.
A lot of them had a
Yeah.
wide berth, let's face it. I would hope so. Yeah. Did you see the homeless man on... I love the homeless. There's a bloke called Ted Williams.
Oh, I love the homeless.
Yeah, and he was... you know how the homeless, they like a cardboard sign?
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
a handwritten cardboard
Slightly
sign.
soggy one.
Yeah, there's a very distinctive... I'm sure if I wrote a cardboard handwritten sign, it wouldn't look quite authentic. There's a whole genre. Yeah. And he had one of those, and it says former radio announcer looking for work. And they had an interview. This is a clip of the bloke, and he's he looks like a proper raggedy old homeless bloke. This is called Ted Williams. This is what he said.
When you're listening to nothing but the best of oldies, you're listening to Magic 98.9.
Now, can you imagine a homeless bloke saying that to you in the street? This is Ted Williams from a cardboard box in Victoria Station. And he's got a job. It's a really exciting, lovely,
Do you know what I liked as
wonderful
well,
story.
Frank, is that when he was holding up, the man had stopped to film him and was talking to him. And even when he was holding up the piece of cardboard on an exit ramp, he was going, thank you, thank you. It was quite grand, like he was at a premiere or something.
But he felt like it. Well, thank you for speaking to me today. It is an incredible.
Yeah, he had a brilliant voice.
It is. I don't know if this is a politically correct thing to say, but it's wasted on a homeless man.
Well, is that, well, no, he's not. Well, not any
Because-
longer. He's been discovered.
What kind of announcements do they make? I've passed many a one, and they've said stuff, but it's never been what you'd call an announcement. It's always had an air of pleading. Yeah. But and by the way, Milton Jones is our guest today, and I'm excited about that. Great way to kick off the year. He'll be with us after the news. I've got the adverts coming up. I think we should count them in.
7, 6.
6, 5. Can I just stop you there and say, you said 7 and I said 8. I've taken the mickey out of this. It's not as easy as it sounds. Let's try again. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Dear, I walked straight into a power cord. No, that's actually, there's blood there. I've walked straight into that. I always feel that Absolute are never happier with me than when I'm playing Oasis. I feel that all is right in the world of Absolute. We were just having a little chat there about whether or not the producer could slap my face if I said something saucy to her, whether that would still be legally allowed.
I don't know.
Not that I would ever say anything saucy to the producer. I see her as like she's like a sister to me.
That's reassured everyone.
Yeah, thanks very much. But, yeah, can you still do that if a man says, well, you're looking rather shapely... could I do you for assault, Emma, if you did that? Well, let's find out. No, it's not. Well, anyway, it's not going to happen. Why worry about what might have been? That's what I said to the production team of The Magicians. Cheer up, I said, forget it. They were sawing each other in half by the end of it.
So people are probably sitting on the edge of their seats if they heard the midweek podcast a couple of weeks ago about how my optician's follow-up appointment went.
Yeah, well, we've had a lot of texts and emails about it. We had one Sanskrit scroll in an old pottery thing.
There's a lot of buzz about it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Well, I want to know.
Well, it was quite a different experience. I had quite a nice experience at that time. The optician was a friendly Fabio Capello-like man. Like quite warm and...
So, yeah, not that good as it turned out.
Not good, but then...
Can I just say, just as a bit of background,
yes.
is it a short sight problem? Or?
Yes, I'm short-sighted.
Okay.
And I tried out daily disposable lenses where usually I had monthly. And that's what I was trying out. So I went back and it was a different optician doing the contact lenses. And the other guy was friendly. This was more of a bearded serial killer type doctor.
Okay, that kind of doctor.
That vibe.
But you're a bit bearded serial killer at the moment.
I have
You've grown a beard.
over Christmas.
It was a bit of a clash of the Titans.
Yeah.
And I said, I noticed going in that one of my eyes, the vision was very good, almost too good.
Too good?
Too good, so it seems...
Is it bordering on X-ray vision?
And then the other eye was a bit blurry.
Okay.
So I thought, maybe... I said to the guy, either...
Can I just ask you to define too good?
Well, like, a bit too... Like, when I would get new glasses, everything's a bit sort of too clear and it sort of freaks you out a bit.
Was that his diagnosis?
Do you want life to be essentially like an impressionist painting? You don't want clarity?
No, it's what I was doing is I was wearing the wrong contact lens in the wrong eyes. So one of them was doing things too much. And so we tested the eyes a bit. He didn't know what was going on, so I had to describe. I'll come back because I've been trying out these new lenses. So and then he goes and he looks at the eyes and goes, "Yes, I think you have put them in the wrong eyes." And then, without saying anything else, he came up to me
and slapped you hard across the face. So it is legal.
Got hold of my face and with his big old man hands popped my contact lenses out.
Oh dear!
One at a time.
What? Just by squeezing your head?
By squeezing this funny movement with my eyelid.
You can't see that at home, obviously, but it looks like a man squeezing a big spot.
Yeah, like squeezing a big spot. And then swapped them round and then just stuck them in the other eyes.
No,
that can't be right.
You can't do it like that.
No, besides, you could have one of your eyes could be terribly diseased.
Yeah.
And now they've both got it now.
Yeah, and you know if you change contact lenses, you usually put a bit of solution on. So one of them
is he registered, this man?
I don't know what he is. I felt terribly abused by that man.
Did he at any point say...
When you're listening to nothing but the best of oldies, you're listening to Magic 98.9.
He feels like he might be a homeless who's just wandered in and said, what kind of fun can we get up to here?
He seems to have very little grasp of how things are, because you should ask someone before
you take their contact lenses out. I always think that.
Do you think?
Yeah.
That's just me.
I have had my face slapped for doing that before, actually. We'll have these out as well while you're getting undressed. I've done that.
Also, you should ask before placing your hands on someone's face.
Yes, I agree with that.
Definitely.
You know?
And before touching the eyeyeball.
Yeah, before
I'm not bothered about that.
You're not?
I think if you're actively touching someone else's eyeball, you want a bit of permission up front. Yeah. So what did you do? Did you wrestle him to the ground?
No. I was just quietly... I didn't know what to do. And the thing was, then, in one eye, it went in okay, but the other one, it wasn't moist. It was all horrible.
Oh, God. Was it a fold? You know when you get a fold?
I could see nothing. And then he was saying, can you read the second line? And I was like, well, I can't see anything now, because usually if I put them in, I would have used a little bit of solution. It's terribly dry now.
Well, good. At least you were getting emotional. That would moisten them a little.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you leave it with this terrible
Did you
man?
have a slight meltdown in the optician?
Well, I managed to not do it. I'm getting monthly lenses.
Yeah, well, you don't want to be going back there on a regular basis.
No,
I would. I personally,
dailies.
I'd put in a complaint.
I should do, yeah.
My eye.
I'll tell you how it goes.
Or rather,
That'll
your
be
eye.
another wrap.
Yeah, okay. Milton Jones will be with us after this, and then we'll talk to him. There's no point in just coming in here and sitting
Oh,
there.
trail him, why don't you?
It won't work on radio. That he just said. By the way, Milton Jones was here for those last 3 links. He's just gone. What a nice looking lad. Anyway, he'll be here soon. That'll be good.
This is Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
Milton Jones has joined us, our first guest of 2011. Good morning.
Hey, hello, good morning.
Milton.
How are you?
I'm very well, thanks. And may I say, you look splendid. I'm slightly worried that your hair's a bit flat and normal.
Yes, well, it's sort of unnecessary for radio, hopefully, but apparently not.
Well, I read it was a kind of a psychological thing, that when you put your hair up all spiky and mad, that means you're ready to rock.
It gives me 5 seconds as well in Romford on a Monday night. Because I used to go in and just do gags as myself.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it would really work and sometimes it really wouldn't. But if you stick your hair up and put on a silly shirt, people go, oh, he's mad. And somehow that's a lot less threatening.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. You should try it.
As you said, yeah. I'll give it a go. I'm a bit short on the hair, to be honest. Ken Dodd, of course, one could argue, was doing this many years ago.
Yeah, true.
So speaking of hair, you are here hot from a corporate gig last night.
Yeah, I did a corporate thing for some hair care product people. I think it was Schwarzkopf or someone like that.
Oh, yes, I know them.
Do you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I'm familiar with their work.
Emily knows all the products.
Yeah.
Really? So I see. And
How dare you?
My earring's going on this side. I thought you said you'd done a corporate gig for Hair Bear. I don't think he's working. Is he still alive?
well, there's a bunch from there. But yeah, what was my first line? I was walking along today and someone threw some shampoo at me, but it turns out it was real poo.
I like it.
Now, this is, if you've never seen Milton live, it is a relentless. You are one of, I would say, probably only 3 or 4 comics I know who just does one-liners.
Yeah.
It's like it's totally lean meat. You're at.
Oh, tell me about it. And I can write all day and end up with 10 seconds at the end of the day that I can add to my act.
Yeah.
So when I'm going on tour or something, that's, an hour and a half is a lot of 10 seconds.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
So how long did it take to put this? You're on tour. You're about to go on tour.
Yeah, starting the week in Stafford, 90-date tour, and it took me probably about a year to get all this stuff together.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's scary. And how did it go with the hairdressers? Did they?
It was fine. Actually, a woman heckled me, and I said, what do you do? She said, I work in the call centre. I said, I'm just going to put your heckle on hold. It is important to me, but here's some music,
I like the fact that they have a call centre at Schwarzkopf.
For complaints.
Yeah, how many complaints are coming in that they need to put people on hold?
I know, it's scary, isn't it?
I've had Schwarzkopf and my hair's not all that Schwartz. I find. We should explain that corporate gigs, by the way, my pillars don't know what they are. They're kind of sort of business people who hire a comedian for a bit of entertainment.
Yes, and they can be absolutely awful because you're just one part of a lot of things that are happening in an evening.
Yes.
And they can say, oh, it's all running late, can you go on? And it's the loo break, and 40 of them are Japanese and don't speak English, and there's a big gap. Well, you know what it's like.
Yes.
It can be a nightmare. Or it can be really nice, but it's the fear of not knowing what it's going to be like that's actually the trauma.
So was it just you last night, or were you on with dancing girls and things?
No, well, not that I know. It was just me. I nearly went to the wrong one, because often you go to a hotel and there are lots of events in the same place, and I was in the wrong one for 10 minutes.
You're joking?
No.
What was that one?
I think it was financial advisors.
Oh, right. I think they'd still laugh at the shampoo, wouldn't they?
Probably.
In as much as financial advisors are laughing at anything at all at the moment.
Yeah, that's true.
So the one-liner thing I'm kind of fascinated by. Is that something, when you aspired to be a comedian, did you think, I want to be one of those comics who does one-liner gag, one-liner gag, one-liner, or did you evolve?
No, it evolved. I think it was partly because I was so terrified when I started doing it. I had to get to the laugh as quickly as possible. So I'm not one of those comics who goes on and busks an idea and sees where the laughs are. I just got to get to the laugh as quickly as possible. And if you take everything else out of a line, then that's what you've got, a one-liner.
Yeah. It's odd because to me, it seems more frightening Because it seems to me that there's no... Sometimes I'll do a gag, and because my thing is quite conversational, if it doesn't get a laugh, I'll pretend that wasn't actually a punchline. That was just me on the way somewhere else. But you really know with yours whether it's...
And you've got to have lots of ways of getting out of no one laughing. If you see what I mean, you've got disclaimers of various kinds. I'll start in a minute, or whatever it is, because it can go horribly fast. It's either death or glory. And,
what a fabulous attitude. How many people can say that about their jobs? Obviously, some people who work in massively dangerous jobs.
Yeah.
But also one-liner comics. That's about it.
This is Frank Skinner
Absolute
Radio.
Hang the DJ. Yes, we don't want any texts on that topic.
But we
Very
do have some nice texts on Milton.
Oh, do
He's
we?
very popular with our listeners.
Do you mean
yeah.
Milton Jones, our guest this
Yeah, I
morning?
do.
Or Milton, the 17th century poet?
They're about Paradise Lost, actually.
Yeah, well, I'd like to hear. As Samuel Johnson said, no man ever wished it longer.
Nicola, who just says Milton Jones was awesome at the Glasgow University QMU.
Yes, that rings a bell.
One of my favourite comedians. You also get a name check here, Gareth and Rod Gilbert combo. Gareth. But yeah, and also we've had another one in Milton saying, I've imagined a sketch with Milton in a room entranced by a blue bottle flying around him. Don't ask why. Does he plan to do some sketches?
What?
I don't know.
It's a sketch idea.
Yeah, it is. I'll write that down.
Don't dismiss it out of hand. This guy
it's true.
he could be the next Ricky Gervais, this guy.
Yeah.
That's true. That's what you've got to do. People offer you jokes as well.
People say to me, you can put this in one of your skits.
Yes, skits.
Well, I don't have any. I don't know what a skit is.
Yeah.
I'll put it in one of my skips. That's what I'll do with it.
My kids have found out that there's money in jokes as well, and they try and write me stuff.
How old are your kids?
20, 18 and 15.
Okay. Oh, I was thinking like 7.
No. But that's been the case for a while now. So what you have to do is say, no, that's rubbish, I can't use that, and then write it down secretly. And then use it later.
You wouldn't steal one of your own children's jokes.
Well, it's all in the same family, isn't it?
Are you one of these men that has the bread knife in the slot of the piggy bank, just
Yes.
taking out a couple of pounds?
Yes, the money's to feed them after all.
Yeah. You're not still feeding them when they're 20, are you?
You'd be surprised.
Well, I'm seeing you as a big mother bird, with them as gaping mouths. That's how I'm seeing them.
I can do that.
So you wrote a book.
I did.
About comedy.
Yes, I did, in my spare moments. It was project number 3 for a couple of years, as it were.
Okay.
And so whenever I had a spare day or two, I'd return to it. And it's basically, what's it called? Where do comedians go when they die? It's basically the career of a comedian, but in terms of the journeys. Because as you know, we do more, hour for hour, we're more paid travellers than we are comedians. And I just thought it would sort of like going to his first open spot, and then years later jaded doing stuff on telly, but you just describe the journeys. So it's about planes and trains and cars.
Oh, okay.
And people you're with, but also about the mindset of,
And it's all your own experience.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's about a third me, a third people I know, and a third I've made up to sort of make it work.
You've made it up?
Well, yeah.
I don't believe it.
Yeah.
Well, that's because you've made it up, probably.
Yeah. But I like to think it's authentic in terms of the tenor of the book,
Yeah.
So,
And is that out now? Could I go and buy that
absolutely.
today?
I'll send you one if you're desperate.
Oh, God, I'd love to read it. No, I do. I'm as well as being a comic, I'm slightly fascinated by comedy, if you know what
Yes,
I mean.
no,
And
I know.
comedians.
I know.
They're an interesting lot, I think. What do you think, Emily? You've known a few.
I've known a few. Yeah. Let's leave it there, shall we?
Well, I'm waiting for that book. That'll be brilliant. So on tour, if anyone is planning to see Milton, well, obviously there are people planning to
Yes,
see.
if anyone is.
So what, you use a support act, or you did it?
Yes, I will. Every time I go on tour, I think, I'll write so much that I won't even need a support act. But, of course, at the last minute, I probably need about 3. So, yes, I will have a support act. And what I do is I go out and do 15 minutes at the top myself as my grandfather. And then I have a support act.
Okay.
And then...
Well, you're nicking his material as well.
Yeah, basically. It's a family thing. And then I do the whole of the second half.
Okay.
So, because one-liners, you don't want too many of them, do you?
Well, I saw you at Comedia in Brighton.
Oh, yeah.
Do an hour. And I'd have happily had another 20 or so. You stormed it. Absolutely stormed it. I'd recommend you go and see Milton. And what you'll do, though, this is another thing about you, is that people must use your jokes all the time at work and that.
Oh, yes.
Day.
No, absolutely. I switched on the radio the other day and some DJ, if you know what they're like.
Yes. Hang the DJ, that's what I said.
And it's usually a paraphrase. It's never quite exactly the same.
That's the worst. Not only steal it, but spoil it slightly.
Yeah.
Frank on
Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Do you know what I was fascinated by this week? Very exciting. Derek
Famous
Acorah.
and feel. Oh, sorry.
Derek Acorah
Oh, yes.
has made his predictions for 2011.
Oh, thank goodness.
You know, the new year is such a time, it's all unknown, that you don't know what's going to happen. And then there's
We don't.
There's
No.
the island of security where well, at least I know that these things are going to happen.
Oh, marvellous. Yeah, so what's
Some
Derek...
amazing things.
I wish Derek could say something really terrifying.
Okay. Have you seen his face?
Sort of thing.
Yeah, but if he said something like there'll be a massive nuclear attack on East Anglia, or something like that, how would that go down in
Well,
Colchester?
can I just say, I do remember he did say last year that Cheryl and Ashley Cole will be having a baby. That's what I think he predicted for
Yes.
this year.
Well,
So he got that a
it's-
bit wrong.
He's just misread, baby.
A little bit wrong.
It said divorce. Who was it? What's his spirit medium bloke called? Is it Joe?
It's Sam.
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 Sam probably said.
Is that like his help, his assistant?
Yeah, he's from the
Spirit Guide.
Yeah, it's his spirit
World
guide.
of,
I think
World of
he's
Spirits.
World of Sports. He used to do that with Dickie Davis. And Sam. I think was he an 18th century stable worker?
No,
or
18th
something?
century sort of work experience. He doesn't pay him. He's like an intern.
No, I'm on about when he was
I'm
alive.
sorry, in his real life, yeah.
I don't think he knew him when he was alive.
Oh, okay.
No, he doesn't hang around with many alive people. Derek Acorah. He's a bit snobby, that way. Anyway, Sam said to him, that Cheryl Cole and Ashley Cole were going to have a baby last year. And this is what you get if you listen to the tittle-tattle of 18th century stable hands. They think they know all about what's going on in the manor house. They know nothing.
But what he actually said, though, in his defence, is Cheryl and Ashley Cole will be committed to a baby.
Right.
And who knows what that means?
Yeah.
That
I wish he'd said they'll be committed.
yeah.
That would have been brilliant.
They may have just made...
So what's he said for
Commitments.
this year? What's his predictions?
Oh,
then?
it's very... new man for Kerry Katona.
Oh, well,
Right.
I think we can all predict that there will be quite a few new men.
I don't know if I'd have said it in the singular.
But no, at last he will be a very good soul.
Oh.
Okay.
It happens,
David Soul.
It happens very slowly.
I hope it's not David Stoltz. It's a good job she's doing the workout video. She's going to have to be doing some ducking and diving when DS comes in after a few beers. No disrespect if you're listening. Actually, a little bit of disrespect. I'm not a fan of domestic violence.
He says it happens very slowly at first.
Did he hold it? Can I just establish?
It happens slowly. What with David Soul? What's going on?
Is David Soul? I'm not besmirching him. Did he get done for domestic?
There was a bit of bother.
Okay, let's say it's alleged. It might not.
There's
have happened.
allegedly a bit
If you're
of
listening,
bother.
David, I apologise. If you didn't do it, I apologise. If you did do it, well, you can't see that gesture on air, but there it goes.
Yeah, exactly.
It happens very slow. This is the new man. It happens very slowly. Phone calls, exchanging numbers. And that would be slowly, because if you start with the phone calls before you exchange numbers,
Well, exactly.
that really slows things down.
Yeah, it
Just
does.
dialing
I mean,
random.
I suppose if you're Derek
numbers.
Acorah, you can do that sort of
Yeah,
thing.
he can do
He's
that.
forgotten that us mere mortals.
He
Ma,
says-
Ma, you're right. Ma, who wants that phone call when you haven't even given her your number? Let's have some music. We'll come back to Derek.
This is Frank Skinner
Absolute.
Radio.
Walls come tumbling down. In case there's any ice cream fans, this isn't the business news. Everything's okay on that front. That was style cancel.
So we were talking about Derek Acorah.
I can talk about Derek Acorah forever. What else does he predict?
Well, that'll
for
come in
2000?
handy for him.
Yeah.
Peter Andre meets woman of his dreams.
Oh.
Of his dreams or Derek Acorah's dreams? Meets some
That would be
18th century
unfortunate,
serving wench. A lot of cleavage, I'm imagining. A lot of cleavage and a sort of terrible goiter on the neck. But some call it Derbyshire neck. I call it, the technical term, the goiter.
But the big news for Peter Andre, I see him becoming disappointed with his recording career.
Oh.
Well, welcome to the rest of our world. I've been disappointed with his recording career since 1986. I don't think he's even doing it then.
He says about Cher Lloyd, I can see her being a big success, but in an underground sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
From the Northern Line.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's not going to be.
One of those people.
She's not going to be his next voice from the grave, is she? Oh no, Cher Lloyd's going to die. Edge Sam out.
Sam's out of a job.
You know what happened?
She's doing a cut-up between Jay-Z and this is the rap she's doing. Yeah, I'm getting the rap she's
Yeah, that's
doing.
what it is. See, Derek, he's obviously thinking I'm going to move into rap. How can I'll kill Cher Lloyd and claim that she's my communication in the spirit world. Sorry, move over, Sam. That's all I'm saying.
Can I tell you what I like about Derek Acorah? He says I'm afraid a lot. He says, Charles will become king, but it will be a very short reign, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Yes, that's another big prediction, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, how old is Charles? 60. Yes. We need to, yes. I'll tell you what I like about Derek Acorah.
Go on.
Nothing. Next week.
What about his jewellery?
Oh, he's got the easiest job. Couldn't I say? Let me give you some predictions
Okay.
for this year coming up. David Cameron will have a difficult time in the middle of the year, but he will have some high spots as well.
Middle of the year.
Yeah, there you go. Now, I bet you that comes true. Something a bit more far-fetched. Chris Evans will stop shouting. Okay. Next week, Andy Osho is our guest. Lovely. And Not the Weekend podcast will be available from Wednesday. That is the podcast that we do that is not part of this show. It's only available as a podcast in case you don't know what it is. And yes, God bless you all. What am I? Oh yeah. Bye.
You're listening to Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Treebor Soft Mints, bringing a softer, mintier feel to your Saturday morning.
Absolute Radio.